Hi, today I'm going to be making one of my most popular recipes, okay? It is a super hit with children, and I've been making it at all of my children's birthday parties since they were little. And children have come up to me and say, oh, you're the one that makes those amazing bars, and you know, you have to tell me the recipe. And so anyways, today I'm going to show you guys how to make these. Basically what I've done is we've crushed up Gluco biscuits. I like to use Gluco because they are, you know, very nice in flavor, but you guys can use any biscuits that you like. Candy biscuits are actually the closest thing to the Lotus biscuit that we have here in Karachi. So it really depends on what kind of flavor you like, but you could use any kind of biscuit, okay? I have melted this butter, okay? And I'm gonna put the butter, melted butter, into the biscuits, okay? And we are going to mix them up, okay? All right, the next ingredients that I have in front of me are we are gonna be using sweetened condensed milk, and we're gonna need 2 tins of this. So basically I'm going to keep a tray like this, and over here I've got about 2 packages of the biscuits in this, and the packages are, you know, this big, in case, you know, you want to have an idea of how many biscuits I put in here. Okay, and so these biscuits are also high in calories, so they're best for kids. A lot of adults actually find them too sweet. Like myself, I rarely eat these. Even Asim, he really eats them. He finds them to be a little too overpowering in terms of their sweetness. Okay, but regardless of the fact that they're very sweet, they've got some really good ingredients for children. So they're actually pretty healthy, besides the high sugar content. Okay. So I am going to be just spreading this along, and it doesn't have to be like super wet in terms of how much butter we use, because the thing is that we're gonna put so many things on top of it that it's really gonna bind it together really well, regardless of how much butter you use. The butter is basically just to make a good firm base for your magic cookie bars. Okay, so now I'm going to put some Quaker Oats on it. Okay, and not much, but just a little. So this is what I'm talking about, that these are not like super unhealthy. They've got some really nice healthy ingredients in it, and it's quite a good treat for children. And if one wanted to, they could probably cut down on the sweetness somehow, because you have the option of actually adding and eliminating ingredients as your tastes, as your children's tastes, as you want it to be. So this is actually a concoction of almonds and walnuts crushed up. Okay, so I put that. Then the other thing that I'm going to put on top is shredded coconut. Okay, so I'm just going to spread this along as well. Okay, so here's the spreaded coconut, and I'm going to put it all on top of here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's looking really good. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to put is chocolate. Basically, I have used a Hershey's bar. I've made it into pieces, and let me get it. And here you can put less or more. So it's actually in cubes, but you could even shred it, and it would be really nice. And it's totally up to you how much you want to use. I try and make sure there's a good amount, because you can also use chocolate chips. Here, we sometimes don't get a lot of chocolate chips, so I started using chocolate bars. So it's totally up to you what you want to use on this. And I'm going to just lay it on like this, and I think that is just about enough. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sweetened condensed milk on top of it. Okay, so here we go. We're basically just going to completely cover this whole thing with the sweetened condensed milk. Okay, so like I said, if you wanted to decrease the sweetness of it, one could even go for a little bit less sweetened condensed milk, like probably 1.5 tins. I know that when Sama makes it, she uses 3 tins. And when she uses 3 tins, they become really, really gooey. Okay? So, you know, it's totally up to you. Obviously, most children would say go for more sugar rather than less sugar, obviously. So I'm going to just get rid of all of this. And the last thing we put on top of this is something very fun, which are M&Ms, okay? So these are great for birthday parties. They're like very, very colorful. Everybody wants to kind of eat it, and they look really pretty too when you put M&Ms on it. So I've used 2 packets of M&Ms, okay? So I think we are all set, okay? We're all set. All right, and this is how it's looking, okay? And now I'm going to put it in the oven, all right? So these magic cookie bars actually do not take very long to cook, because there's nothing that's actually raw in them. You basically just want to see that the sides are slightly browned, and that's it. And they're done. It actually should not be brown all the way across, otherwise they'll get very hard. Because once you take them out of the oven, they're very, very soft, but as time goes on, they get harder, all right? So another important tip is that when you take them out of the oven, let it rest, but then you should cut it within about 15 minutes, because then otherwise they get a bit hard and harder to cut. So I will be back when I take them out of the oven, probably in 15 minutes. All right, so the magic cookie bars have been taken out from the oven, and this is what they look like. So actually they are a little bit overdone. I feel that the ideal is when they're just slightly brown on the edges, and it's a little light, almost like whitish in the middle. But actually they cut a lot better when they've been cooked like they're cooked right now. So this is actually perfect. And after you take them out of the oven, wait about 15 minutes and then cut them into squares. And these are the famous magic cookie bars. And as you can see, they were very easy to make, and they are a super hit, wonderful recipe that everyone under 20 just absolutely adores. And good luck baking. Okay, bye.